So James,
Yeah?
do you want to hear about Batman?
Yeah, I do.
Let's do this. So it's 1986 or 7. And this isn't in the comic. This is in real life.
Okay, sure.
DC is doing a revamp of all their heroes.
Okay.
Okay. They are
All of them or like mainline?
mainline. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman.
Okay, that makes sense.
Revamp Superman's origin story. Revamp Wonder Woman's origin story. Batman doesn't need one because his origin story is so good.
Sure. Just like a replay on it?
Pearls, boom, gunshot, mommy, daddy. What are we doing?
Sure, of course.
So they're like, but we revamp probably money. It's like we could make money if we do something with Batman.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course.
So they get Frank Miller. Frank Miller is like, he's a heavy hitter in comics, right? For those of you who don't know who Frank Miller is, he did 300. He did Sin City. He did Daredevil work, Marvel.
Which one? He wrote.
Yes.
None of the movies.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. I was
These are all comics. He didn't do any of these movies. I mean, I'm sure he consulted, but these are not movies
he definitely
did.
consulted for Sin City, for sure. Yeah.
So anyway, but these are comics he wrote. So he's a famous guy.
Oh,
so he's like, Frankie, we want you to redo Batman. Sure. And he's like, listen, this origin story, this is not what Frank Miller sounds like, but this is what I'm going to go with. This origin story is, it's good, but let me see if I could do something maybe about his first year as Batman.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great story.
That's intriguing,
how he came
for sure.
to be, right? His origin story of that. So that's what this comic's all about.
Sure, I'm sure you'll tell me, but I can only imagine it's not as clean as like the Batman you see today.
It's
right?
Frank Miller. Frank Miller's going to be gritty.
Sure, I just mean like his motions, and it should feel unclean. Like he doesn't know what he's doing yet, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, we'll get into that.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
He messes up a lot.
As a concept, I love that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. It's because it's his first year. It's called Batman Year One.
Yeah, for sure.
So the comic starts off, you've got Batman, Bruce Wayne, not Batman yet.
Sure.
And Jim Gordon. And the reason I have them like this is because Batman's arriving by plane and Gordon's arriving by train.
Okay.
No automobiles were involved.
You got me before I asked.
Yeah.
Planes, trains.
And automobiles.
No automobiles.
Where's that from?
It's a movie.
Cool. So Batman is arriving by plane.
We just lost viewership because you don't know that movie.
I don't know what that movie is. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's a movie.
Batman's thinking to himself as he's arriving by plane.
Bruce
Wayne. Thank you.
Yeah.
I saw you start to point. He's thinking to himself as he's arriving by plane, I should have arrived by train. From up here, the city looks civilized. Concrete structures, beautiful buildings, blah, blah, blah.
More disconnect than he wants.
Exactly. He even says to himself, he goes, I should be down there with the enemy. Which is funny because Gordon is arriving by train and he's like, I wish I took a plane. It's down here. It's disgusting. There's a pregnancy scare with his wife and he's like, I hope she's not pregnant. Not pregnant because he doesn't want to raise a kid in this cesspool. And he's a straight and narrow cop and he's just like, this is messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As to quote you from last video that I love, this is bologna sandwich. Okay. So it's this great dichotomy between the two of them. You have Batman who's up in the sky, down looking on Gotham, and his boots on the ground, Gordon, right? And he's just like, and Gordon thinks to himself, Barbara, his wife, is 100% coming by plane. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So
safer.
Yeah. So you kind of just see the both of them arriving at the exact same time. And Gordon, walks off the train and there's this kind of like guy and he's like a peddler, I guess. He's got this book and he's like, hey, buy this nice book. Very cheap, beautiful, very nice, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, thank you. And he keeps trying, to sell him this book. I don't know what the book is, but this big kind of like brute jock, I guess, picks up the guy and he's like, scram, skinhead, I think is what he says. Scram, because the guy's bald. Scram, skinhead. And he goes, hey, I'm Detective Flass. I'm your new partner. All right. And he puts
what
his
an
arm,
introduction.
Yeah. He's a piece of work, this guy.
Sure.
He puts his arm kind of around Gordon. And he's like, don't worry. Cops got it made in Gotham. Right. So just hints at the corruption are already there. He's
Sure.
Like, you're going to do well.
Immediate hint at it. Yeah.
Exactly. We go to Bruce Wayne, who lands big charming smile. He's got the press there. They're taking photos. Are the rumors about you and this model true? And he's like, you know, he's just like,
it's the red carpet for him.
Yeah. He's just like, blah, blah, blah.
World premiere of his new movie.
Stoneface. Second he's gone. Just like, cool. It's
Camera's no longer on him.
It's all an act.
Got it.
You gotta not be the crime fighter when you're Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
Yeah. So he goes, he gets in his car, he starts driving towards Wayne Manor.
Is he being driven or he's driving?
He's driving.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's driving to Wayne Manor, and Gordon is with Flass in his car.
Yeah.
And they're driving. He's like, you're going to love this city. You know, we're doing, oh, wait 1 second. And he like pulls up, boom, stops, gets out of the car. There's these teenagers that are like hanging around on this, you know, corner.
Sure.
Corner street.
Some kids.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, does your mother know you're out? And the kids look at Flass and he's like, oh, crap. And Flass just starts beating the crap.
Why?
Out of one of these kids. We'll get to that. Puts him in a dumpster. Blah, blah, blah. Gordon's in the car.
In a dumpster?
Yeah. Just
Jesus, what a jerk.
Crap out of him. The ever living bejesus. And Gordon is sitting in the car and he's like, I just watch. I don't do anything. He's like, you know, I'm just watching. He's got Green Beret training. He makes that note. And he goes, I learn for future reference. He's watching this guy's fighting style.
That's smart. Don't bust out now. Don't create a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, if I need to take this guy out, I'm going to watch.
Love that.
Yeah. Flass gets back into the car and Gordon's like, what the hell, man?
So he says something.
Yeah, he does. He's not like silent about it. You know, he's Gordon. And Flass goes, he had this, and it's a switchblade comb.
Oh, so he thinks it's a switchblade.
Nope. He wanted the switchblade comb. So he beat up the kid and robbed him.
What a jerk.
To do it. To take it.
What a jerk.
This is mine now. Let me see your phone real quick. Sweet, now I got two phones.
Oh, okay.
Flask for the win, or Flass, sorry.
What? We've got food coming. Don't you want that? Don't you want me to tell you the title?
It'll vibrate against my back.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my phone now.
Okay.
We go back to Bruce Wayne, right? He arrives at the manor and he's like, hello, mother. Hello, father.
They're dead though, no?
Yeah. I mean, Batman's origin story. But
yeah.
He's just like, you know, talking to him.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
Just like
catharsis to some degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like, you know, it's good to be back home. He's
Sure.
been gone for 12 years.
Okay. That would put Batman at like what age about, just to give an idea of like how old he should be.
You know, the continuity's weird. My guess is his parents were shot when he was maybe 8, maybe 13.
Somewhere
He's
in
been
there, yeah.
gone for 12 years, but they were killed 16 years ago. So he's somewhere between 24 and 31.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
You know, maybe 29. I don't know. Continuity's weird because this is Frank Miller's Batman. In Frank Miller's Batman, we've got The Dark Knight, which he retires at like 50 or 55. I think it's 50 because he's 60 when he comes back. And then that means that he's spent this long as Batman, but Barbara Gordon Jr., who hasn't been born yet, is around, and she's maybe like 23. Dude, there's a lot.
Hey, so I just asked how old Batman was, man. Chill. Somewhere between 20.
It's funny because you asked that, and like yesterday, I'm just going, how old is Batman?
That's funny.
How does the time work here?
Sure.
DC continuity is so weird.
Listen,
comic book continuity.
I just want to think about how old he looks in my head.
Middle 20s.
Okay, cool. Still young looking.
Mid 20s. Young looking, fresh.
Cool. I like that.
Anyway. Yeah. So
I feel like superheroes always feel kind of a bit older.
Yeah.
Like established, 35 maybe or something like that. 30. But like the idea of a younger one, I like it for a beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we cut back to Gordon. Gordon is meeting with Police Commissioner Loeb, right? And Loeb is basically like looking through his files like, you got a great file. This is great, Gordon. I'm so excited to have you on board with us. And, Gordon's like, well, I've made some mistakes, that's for sure, but I'm a hard worker. And, and he goes,
humble.
Yeah. And he goes, yeah, mistakes. What are you talking about? None of this ever went to the press. So you didn't make any mistakes as far as I'm concerned. You get the idea that Police Commissioner Loeb only cares about whether or not the press found out about something.
Sure. Because that means the people found out.
Whether there's chatter.
Chit-chat.
Yeah. One thing I did forget to mention, you do hear a news broadcast right before Gordon walks in. The charges against, or the investigation, the conspiracy investigation against Police Commissioner Loeb has been dropped because a key witness has gone missing.
Oh, of course. Really?
Yeah. Just great. Like corruption.
Yes.
Corrupt. So anyway, you get the idea from Loeb talking to Gordon. He's basically just like, you're going to be a team player, right?
Plant the seed already.
Team. He's like basically just like he thinks he's gonna get someone. He got a good recruit guy who keeps things out of the press. Keeps things on the hush hush.
Sure.
And he's got another member of the team.
Sure. He doesn't think of it being like a Boy Scout or anything like that. Yeah.
And Gordon is just like doesn't like it. Wants to smoke. This guy's chewing
tobacco?
No, drops. Whatever. Chewing on menthol or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Eucalyptus.
Oh.
Drops. Cough drop. I don't know. Whatever. So I guess it's irrelevant. Whatever. So
you're good. I still love you.
All right. Cool. So now we go to 1 month later.
You know that thing where you go to the theater and you eat all the candy before the movie starts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I drank all my water before we can get through this, and now I'm just pretending to sip.
Just put the cup down.
Oh, okay.
It's 1 month later, and what you see is you got Flass and Gordon. They're driving.
Okay. Police car?
Yeah, just it's a They're detectives, so
they don't have to drive one of those, right? That's the thing. Yeah.
They don't get a free car. They don't get one of them free cars.
Sure.
Or they do. I don't know the intricacies of police work.
I don't know how it works. Comment below if you know.
Yes. So anyway, they're driving this car, and Flass is like, Gordon, the guys are talking, and they just want to make sure you're part of the team. It would be horrible if something bad happened, to you and Barbara, because they didn't think that you were part of the team, and you want them to be on your side. So you should reassure them. It's all veiled threats.
That's a threat, though, man.
Yeah.
Talk about a man's wife. That's a big deal.
But it's all veiled, right? And Jim's just like, this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, ugh. And so you get the idea, just more corruption, right? More corruption, pile it on. So we cut to Batman, right? And he's training, he's punching, he's throwing kicks, he's breaking bricks with his punches, and he kicks a tree in half.
No, a tree in half?
A tree. It's a tree. I think it's dead, to be fair, but it is a tree that is standing, not a log, and it's in half.
All right. I wouldn't want to be kicked by him.
And that's the shtick, right?
Yeah.
That's his whole shtick.
Yeah,
Justice kicks.
Justice kick.
Boom. Anyway, so he's throwing kicks and stuff like that, and he's thinking to himself, like, I'm not ready. I'm doing it. I hesitated in my mind. Should I do the Batman voice? Should I not do that? I'm doing the Batman voice.
Sure, man. I'm game.
I'm not ready. I have the means. I have the skill, but I'm missing the method. Right?
Yeah.
And he's just thinking to himself, and he's like, well, no, actually, technically I have tons of methods, but I'm missing something. Right? That's not me making a mistake. That's like what it says.
Yeah.
And he goes, I have to wait. And he's just fighting and training harder while he's doing that. You get the idea. They don't really communicate this in the cartoon, in the movie, the animated movie, but you get the idea. There's a desperation in his, like he needs to be out there.
Oh.
And he needs to put fear.
Yeah, it's like a sense of duty. Like he feels like if he's not doing that, it's bad.
Oh, hey, honey. Our food's here.
I'm aware.
Yeah, quick food break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry. Lunch. How's yours?
Good.
It's good.
Sausage, toilet paper, paper towels, plastic cups, berries, veggies, chicken thighs, ground beef, lemons, celery, snack cheeses, half and half, heavy cream, mayo, quick keto stuff, keto waffles, keto breakfast sammies, Rebel cookie dough ice cream. Those Rebel ice cream sandwiches I keep hearing about if I can track them down. Yogurts, mozzarella cheese, butter. Am I missing anything?
So Batman's desperate to get out there.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
He's like,
he just got a divorce. He's like, I got to get back out there.
No, like there's a need. There's a need for him to be like, I gotta go fight crime or do something.
He's
like,
driven by it.
It's a compulsion. It's very clear. It's not as clear in the animated movie. It's very clear in the comic.
Would you consider it like duty or a compulsion?
Compulsion.
Not duty driven at all?
100% a compulsion.
Okay.
That is Batman personified compulsion to go out and fight crime.
Okay.
Justice.
Yeah.
With a side order of spaghetti, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. So that's it. And that's we're done with that one. We ended off on a joke. For those of you who are watching the full form, that didn't make much sense, but that's a segment. So we go forward a month, right? And this is the one where Batman's going to get stabbed by a prostitute.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Batman, foreshadowing. I guess it's not foreshadowing if you just full on spoil it.
No, that's not what foreshadowing means. That's not what it means.
It's small foreshadowing. Batman will get stabbed by a prostitute. Ooh, what's going to happen? Anyway, so Flass and Loeb, Detective Flass and Police Commissioner Loeb are talking, and they're like, we got to do something about Gordon, okay?
Yeah, Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
We got to take him out. He's, someone slipped a 50 in a handshake, and he looked at the bribe like it was poison, and then he gave us all a 2-hour lecture on ethics, right?
Love this guy.
He's not part of the team, Chief. You got to take him out. And the commissioner is all like, I'm under so much heat right now. We can't do anything while I'm in town. You've got to wait. You've got to be patient. 2 weeks.
Sure, he needs an alibi. He's out of town, right?
Yeah. That voice did it to me. Okay. So we then go to Batman, who is not Batman yet. He's Bruce Wayne still.
Yep.
He's Scarface.
What?
It'll make sense in a second. I'm telling the story in a very beginning, end, middle for this
Tarantino?
one. I'm going crazy for this one. So Batman, Bruce Wayne, is in his car. He's putting makeup on and stuff like that. And he's got a beanie on. Makeup to change his complexion.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, is this Dragman or Batman?
No. Yeah, he's not doing eyeshadow, and he's not like going on stage and being fabulous. He's
trying to change the way he looks.
Yeah. So in his mind, it's very simple. He's just like, he's trained in the ninja arts. So he's just like, it's great. All you got to do, change your complexion up a little bit. He's wearing, a beanie so you can't see his hair. And he gives himself a big scar on his face.
Sure.
Right?
The scar draws attention, I guess, right?
Hence Scarface.
Yes.
So Tony Montana starts walking towards the East End.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the inner monologue in his head is literally like, it's 20 blocks to the enemy camp. Right? The enemy camp being the East End, a.k.a. the red light district.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This sounds fun. Oh, wait. No, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So this...
Wow, I know this sounds fun, makes me sound like a pervert, but I mean, this sounds like it's going to be interesting.
So he gets there, and almost immediately he's propositioned.
Of course. You walk in the red light district, it happens.
And you see who it is, and she comes up to his ribs. I get the idea she's like 12 or 13.
Blech.
Yeah.
Gross.
And
don't like it.
Interestingly enough, if she's like, hey, honey, you looking for a good time? Maybe this is just me. I found it a little bit odd that he just replied with, how old are you? As opposed to, no, how old are you?
Sure, I feel like I'd say the same thing. Like, how old are you? Like, what?
But
it's jarring.
Okay, but when I was reading it, you're reading it. So you're just
sure.
honey, are you looking for a good time? How old are you? That sounds like, oh, let me figure that out so I can find out if I am looking for a good time. It doesn't sound like,
oh, no.
How old are you? Like, you shouldn't be doing this because you're reading it. So it just, it's like that Bill Burr bit where it's, in the court, things sound different. In real life, it was, no, stop it. You're so bad. No, don't do it.
Yeah.
No, stop it. You're so bad. Don't do it. No.
Sure.
So that's what it was like for me reading it.
Yeah,
I just found that odd.
You don't make voices in your head when you read?
When I read, I do.
Oh, sure, but you've got pictures.
But when I got comics, I don't.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
Anyway, so how old are you? And she's like, I'm as old as, or how young are you? I'm as young as you want me to be.
Blech. Gross.
Yeah.
Don't like that. Not a fan.
He seems grossed out. The pimp comes up and he's like grabbing her hair and he's like, don't you know how to prospect? You know, this isn't the guy you're going to close. He's not into younger ladies, blah, blah, blah. And Scarface, Bruce Wayne, Tony Montana, is like, this is my first guy. I got him. So he's like, you're done. And pimp pulls out a knife and he's like, you looking to, get another scar? See, scar worked. So now,
there it is. There it is.
Wayne. He's like,
his attention. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the guy starts attacking him. Bruce Wayne doesn't even take his hands out of his pockets. He's dodging. We cut to Selina Kyle, Catwoman.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She's a dominatrix.
Of course she is.
And she's looking out the window, she's got her, and she's looking out and she's like, oh, this guy's going to get himself killed, right? And her client's in the back, he like raises his hand. He's like, Selina, come back. What are you doing? And she's like, shut up, trash. And he's like, oh, yeah.
So gross. Oh, man.
Anyway, so, he's no problem with the pimp, but the prostitutes pick up the knife and stab him in the leg.
What?
The 12-year-old girl, she stabs him right in the leg.
Jeez.
I told you it was going to happen. You're still shocked.
What?
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, what is going on? To quote you from the last video, what is going on?
Yeah, that would throw me off.
And then it's like a flash mob of prostitutes and civilians trying to kick the crap out of Scarface Bruce Wayne.
Okay, but do they?
No, he's like throwing him over his shoulder and everything like that. At which point, Selina Kyle is like, nobody punches Holly, by the way. Young prostitute is named Holly.
Okay.
The propositioned him. Nobody punches Holly. And she jumps down. It's like 3 stories up, but she's fine. She was in the circus, She's got a decent back. Scoliosis, but not a big deal. Bomb lands.
Oh, my God.
She goes up to him, and she throws a kick at him. He blocks it like this, and he goes, oh, she knows karate, but only karate. Boom! Punches her in the face, knocks her out.
Okay.
Catwoman's one weakness, and he guessed it.
Punches the face.
Yep.
He's 1 for 1.
Boom. Cops show up. Thank God. They're here. Everyone's safe. Point guns at Bruce Wayne.
Of course.
Freeze. Other cop doesn't say freeze, just shoots him. Boom.
What?
Knife in the leg, bullet in the shoulder, unconscious Bruce Wayne on the street.
Yeah, he's going to bleed out. That's a lot of damage.
Oh, indeed.
Especially if it's the right spot.
Oh, yeah. And the other cop's like, you didn't have to shoot him. He didn't move. And he's like, he was gonna.
This is Gotham Police.
Yeah.
I get it, and I've only listened to this comic for 10 minutes.
Yeah, Gotham PD. P Dizzle. Gotham Puff Daddy. Anyway, so he's in the car. And he's in the car. They're like, oh, how much money did he have in his wallet? They clearly robbed him before putting him in the car. And they're talking about how, like, oh, what if he bleeds out? And they're like, then less paperwork. We'll just dump him on the street, blah, blah, blah. And then what I'll do is I'll tell you the way I see it happening, and then I'll tell you the way it actually happened, right? So
I struggle to see the purpose, but that's fine. I'm into it.
The way I see it happening for comedic sake, is he was just like, came to and was like, oh, can you let me off here? And that distracted them and they crashed their car. He was like, this is my next stop. Boom! Crashed their car.
Okay.
The way it actually happened is he breaks the cuffs.
Okay. Manly man. Macho
breaks
man.
The cuffs and starts kind of fighting the cops and grabbing their guns and stuff
He's
like that.
Break through the mesh gate.
Boom.
Yeah.
Full on whatever movie someone does that in. I'm does
sure it happens in some movie. Yeah.
So boom, cops crash the car. Car's gonna go up in flames. He gets the cops out of the car.
Of course, he's a good guy.
He's bleeding out. He's having a rough day.
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right, and he's walking back to his car, which is, I don't know, it was 20 blocks away before, so it's either sooner or later or neither away further because of where the cop station is, police station.
Cool. So he's a couple blocks away.
Yeah. He walks to his car, but he's like bleeding out and he's like, even just getting the key in the ignition is a problem.
Sure.
We're going to cut to Gordon.
Okay.
Back to Jimmy G. So we go to Gordon. He's getting to his car. He got some sort of call, right? And as he's about to get into his car, 5 guys roll up.
They have burgers and fries? Are they hungry?
Let me check. We're going to take a quick break. So they have bats. Oh. Not burgers and fries.
Wait, they were eating the bats?
No, baseball bats.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. 5 guys, burgers and bats.
I thought it was a bat sandwich.
Yep. So they go to, go hit him. They're all in masks, all in black, right? They go hit him. Yeah. It's been 2 weeks, by the way, since Commissioner Loeb was like 2 weeks.
Oh, it's been the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So he, is like, dodges, starts beating the crap out of all the 5 guys at once. Some moves. And he's like, dude, I face worse than this. All right. And as he's thinking that to himself, one of the guys hits him in the back with a bat. And he's like, but it's been a while.
Yowza.
They start beating the crap out of him on the ground with these bats. And they beat him. It's very clear. He even makes mention. They beat him right up to the point of not needing to go to the hospital.
Sure.
Like maybe even just one more hit and he'd need to go.
Sure. Right. Just to the cusp.
Yeah. But he recognizes one of the laughs of one of the guys with bats.
Okay.
It's one of the 4 characters that's been introduced so far besides Gordon. So you've got a 25% chance. Yep. Batman. It's Batman. Because anyway. It's Flass.
Oh.
Right? He recognizes the laugh. It's Flass.
Oh.
Yeah. It was either Batman, Selina Kyle, Commissioner Loeb, or Flass. So it's Flass.
Or it was Commissioner Gordon.
Just him from the future. I need to do this. This is how I become who I am supposed to be.
Or just like, Fight Club. He's fighting himself and he didn't realize it.
Yes, only there's 5 of him. 6 of him. Anyway.
6-1. So, to quote you.
6 of 1.
6 of 1.
Yeah. So, he gets into, he takes, I guess, a few hours to recover, gets into his car, and he's like, I know where Flass is, so I'm going to go get him. Puts one of the bats in his car, and he's like, let's go. He's swollen eye, bloodied.
Yikes.
But he's driving. And as he's driving down the countryside, a black Porsche, same car Batman was driving. It's Batman. It's Bruce Wayne. Is coming, and it like narrowly as Bruce Wayne's like trying to make it home, just barely gets out of the way. And the funny thing is Gordon's like, I should pull him over. Right? Of course. He's speeding, he's driving recklessly, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and he's thinking about it, but he's like, I gotta be somewhere.
Sure.
So he almost caught Batman right then and there before he was ever Batman.
Wow.
And then also just as a funny note, there is a 3rd car, and I just thought that this was funny. It like swerves kind of like onto the, what do you call it when you've got the freeway and then land?
The median?
No, just the land that's next to it.
I think it's still called a median.
Nope, median because middle.
Oh, I thought you meant between the two sides.
No, like on the side, like you're getting.
Oh, the shoulder.
So swerves onto the shoulder, and they're like, isn't that Bruce Wayne?
Like they knew it was his car.
Yeah.
Like he drives like an 82, Dodge. Yeah. But it's not a Dodge. It's a Porsche.
They were like, yeah, isn't that Bruce Wayne? And he's like, and the other guy's like, yeah, he must be high on cocaine. I saw a special on it.
Of course.
Just as a funny note.
The rich people doing the drugs. Yeah.
So anyway, so he gets to where Flass is, which is this kind of like house or club-ish, but it's in a residential neighborhood.
Oh,
but it could be like, a club. I don't know.
Sure, I picture like a bar, but I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he waits for him to come out. Gordon. We're on Gordon, not Bruce Wayne. So he waits for him to come out. Flass finally gets out. He's got his lights off in his car.
Commissioner Gordon does. Not Commissioner yet.
Yeah, Jim Gordon. And Flass gets into his car, turns it on, starts driving, and Gordon starts following him.
Nice.
Now, I know I told you about Batman getting stabbed by a prostitute in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm about to tell you is going to your mind. Okay? You're not going to like... You're not
more than that?
You're not even going to care about Batman after I tell you this.
All right.
I don't even care if I'm setting your expectations too high. You are going to think Jim Gordon is like... I don't know who are really... You're going to think he's Batman and David Bowie combined.
Wow.
We keep talking about David Bowie in our videos.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, you don't oversell it, man. I want to be excited.
No. You don't understand. I've hyped it up about half as cool as it is.
I refuse to believe, but okay.
Gordon's driving.
Okay.
This is how people drive. They're reckless. Anyway, so Gordon's driving. And he, at first, makes mental note. He goes, Flass is only going 5 miles above the speed limit. So when he pulls up next to him and crashes into the side of his car to get him onto the shoulder, thank you, and crash him into a tree, he's like, so this won't be fatal.
Sure.
That's the first mental note. Yeah. Then Gordon gets out of his car. He's got his gun drawn. He's got the bat in his hand, right? He's pointing it at Flass. Flass goes to reach for his gun, sees Gordon's got the gun pointing at him. And he's like, and just dangles the gun. And he's like, he knows Gordon's straight as an arrow.
Sure.
He's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Gordon thinks to himself, he goes, he's got Green Beret training. It's been a while since I fought a Green Beret. But still, he deserves a handicap. And he tosses him the bat to make it a fair fight.
What?
Yep. Gordon drops his gun, tosses him the bat, and is like, fair fight.
He drops his own gun, gives him the bat to give him a fair fight against him?
Yep.
Is this Batman or Jim Gordon?
This is Jimmy G, baby.
Drop Batman from this comic. I'm in on
this. Is Jim Gordon, you won.
Honestly, you could tell me the rest of the story.
I told you I couldn't hype it up enough. It's so cool.
Yeah, leave out Batman and just tell me Jim Gordon, because this is the coolest thing in the world. So
Jimmy G comes in swinging. Right, he gives him a clock to the right. You know, he punches him in the stomach. You do see Flask. I think gets one hit in. It's a silhouette fight and everything like that, but he gets one hit in.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter because Gordon punches the like button, and it becomes swollen and blue.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Sorry, you gotta keep it. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. So Gordon punches him. He cuffs him. And, he's cuffed. His hands are behind his back and he's naked also. Totally derobes the guy. Yeah.
Hog time.
In the snow.
That sucks.
Face down.
That's not pleasant.
Gordon gets into his car and is like, Flass isn't going to tell anybody about this.
Well, yeah, he just made him look like a little jerk.
Yeah. I know what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's just like, he's going to say it was 5 guys, burgers and fries. He took out 4 of them. He's not going to tell anybody.
Of course. Oh, I'm so great. It took 5 guys to beat me. Nope.
Yep. So that's it, boom, done.
Now, a question. Now, Commissioner Gordon, I say Commissioner because I know it from the movies. Jim Gordon is not concerned that, because he made a fool of him, that's probably the better way to say it, made a fool of him, that he's not going to just turn up the heat and go I'm going to kill your wife.
He knows people, and he knows this guy is whatever.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this guy's got nothing.
He's felt it out. He gets it. Yeah.
And he even makes the comment, he'll stay away from me and Barbara now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go back to Batman now.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne.
Not for much longer.
Scarface.
Well, no, he's taking the scar off.
Oh, okay.
So the Bruce Wayne formerly known as Scarface.
De-Scarface.
Yeah. The scar renewal face. Anyway, so
oh man,
we're back there. And what's happening is he's in his study because he's rich.
Yeah.
So he has a study.
Yeah.
And he's slumped in this chair, not unlike this chair, right? And he's got this bell that his kind of hand is on. And he's like, if I ring this bell, Gordon will come. Another of your gifts to me, Father. And he's like, but I'd rather die than waiting any longer.
Damn.
And you get the idea of what he's waiting for because he explains he needs to figure out this missing piece of the puzzle. He needs to figure out how to make the criminals of the city terrified and not want to commit crime.
Sure.
He'd rather die bleeding out than not have it solved. So he's giving himself this is it. This is the ultimatum.
Sure. It's symbology because one guy beating up a bunch of town is not a symbol.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And as he's thinking that, and he's like, what do I do, Father? How do I make them afraid? He's talking to his dad who's dead.
Yeah.
He sees a bat start flying up to his window, right?
Here it is.
And he's like, I remember these. I was afraid of these. And it crashes through his window and doesn't even get cut because comics.
Yep.
But not because comics. There's actually a reason for that, and it won't be answered for another 30 years. 87, okay. So 29 years. 87, 2016, you find out who that bat is. It's got a whole bat story. I was going to say backstory.
Yeah.
But it's got a whole bat story. Its name's Jimmy, Steven, wife, kids. It's got a nephew. No, none of that, but it's cool. We'll get to it.
Sure. There's some secret to the bat.
The bat's something.
Okay.
Bat's awesome. So anyway, Bat crashes through the window and he's like, I get it now. I know what I need to do to make them afraid. I need to become the Bat. And he picks up the bell and rings it.
Nice. Okay, he solved his conundrum.
Yes. He
this.
He was in a bit of a tiff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know if that's it.
Tiff is a fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was in a pickle.
It's also your sister's name shortened.
No, I don't think that's right.
Okay. Speaking of right and wrong, comment below if it's 6-1 or 6 of 1.
It's Thanks. 6 of 1, half a dozen of the other.
No. The comment is 6-1, half dozen to the other. So one person would say it's 6 and the other person would say it's half a dozen. It's just how they perceive it. To me, that's 6.
6
to
of
you,
1 is you have 6 of 1. What is 1? 1 is 1. So therefore you have 6 of something. Half a dozen of is also 6.
No, man. It's that one person would...
It's 6 and 6. They're the same thing.
So like...
What we're actually saying right now, by the way, is 6 of 1, half a dozen of the other.
No, man. It's like if I said it's a fight and you're like, yeah, it was a tiff. And I'd be like, yeah, 6-1, half a dozen to the other. To me, I'd call it 6. You'd call it half a dozen. That's all it means.
No.
That's what it means. Comment below. Who's right?
He's wrong. Comment James is wrong.
Well, you can do that, but then you'd be wrong as well.
Then you're just saying comment below as to who's right. But then everyone who says you're wrong is also wrong.
Well, they'll use the internet, they'll Google it, and they'll find out that I'm right, and then they'll write that you're correct.
So,
hey,
moving on.
Hey, I still love you.
So,
yeah.
It's 1 month later.
Mm-hmm.
Batman's going to put on the suit for the first time in forever.
There'll be music, there'll be lights.
They don't show panels of this, but I'm getting that he's ordered his stuff. He probably did some sewing work because,
Not off Amazon?
Why would you? You don't want people to know.
Yeah, it'd be traced.
There's no way Batman didn't sew at some point.
Sure.
Nobody talks about that, but it happened. So Batman's sewing, and that's what he did for that month.
Yeah. Is there like an Edna mode in the DC universe?
I don't know what that is.
Edna mode. The Incredibles? Are you kidding me?
Oh, the suit maker?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Not that I know of.
There's one for villains in Marvel.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's 1 month later.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on the suit. That's what's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, we're going to go to Gordon.
Man, you're stringing this along. You got me going.
Ding, ding, ding.
You got my blood boiling.
I'm done with doing coming ups, which were in the Thor videos. So I'm trying to just get them all hooked right away.
Okay.
So here we go. He's got the suit on, right? Too bad. We're going to Gordon. So Gordon is there. Gordon is racing to an active crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
The active crime scene being a Arkham Asylum convict has escaped, is holding children hostage, gun to their head. Young, 5 or 6.
I don't like that. That bothers me. And by the way, Arkham Asylum only for nutcases, not just like a...
Yeah, that's Blackgate.
Is the prison type thing. Got it, yeah.
Yeah, so Arkham Asylum is where all the crazies go.
Yeah.
So, escape guy, he's racing there, and there's a reason he's racing there. It's because they're going to send in the SWAT team.
Why is that bad to send in the SWAT team?
Because in Gotham, the SWAT team is essentially just a bunch of trigger-happy guys. It's an army. It's just oafs. Gordon makes the comment as he's racing there, like, he goes... I think the guy's name is Merkel. Can't remember for sure. But he's like, last time Merkel and his goons, settled down a riot, calmed down a riot, they didn't even leave the statues standing.
Jeez.
So them calming down is just mowing down people.
Sure. So he's afraid that the kids will get hurt.
Exactly.
What a guy.
He arrives in the nick of time, and you get the idea that everybody's just kind of scared of him. They're like, "Oh crap, Gordon's here!" And he's like,
he's gotten his like shtick so far.
Yeah. It's April now, I think. So he's been there for like 4 months. He's got a name for himself.
Yeah. So what Batman is trying to do, Jim Gordon has kind of already done. Like, kind of got the fear factor into the police at least, right? Yeah.
Yes. They know he's on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy's like, we don't need you. Get out of here, Gordon, the SWAT team guy. And he's just like, go fight a war somewhere else. And we go to the crazy guy who's just saying nonsense words. Just nonsense words. He's being like, defibrillator, no lunch, toaster oven, Terry Crews. Just nonsense. Just total nonsense.
Sure.
And he's like, okay. And Gordon takes out, as he's got this gun, and he's like, he takes out his gun, shows him, and drops it.
Okay.
I'm coming up.
Trust factor kind of thing.
Yeah, to this crazy. And he even like kind of thinks to himself, like, I don't let them being the cops behind him, of which there are dozens, see my knees wobble. He's terrified.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brave though.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the overcoming of it, or whatever that is.
Sure.
So he walks upstairs and gets up there, and he's got the guy kind of opens the door, and he's like, no lunch. He's pointing the gun at Gordon, right? And he's got the kid in his hands, and blah blah blah. And Gordon is just like, okay. And then a cat's like, wow. Okay. And then he's like, what? And then Gordon takes that opportunity, boom.
Nice.
And as Johnny Depp would say, cold clocks him. Right?
Nice.
Anyway, so guy's out. Kids are like, oh, he like hugs him, blah blah blah, and he's like, I got that. They're afraid, I just can't let them see that I'm just as scared as they are.
No, not when you're an adult. For
exactly.
Sure. Kids need that stability.
Yeah. So we go now to the SWAT guy and Commissioner Loeb, the corrupt police commissioner. And he's like, he embarrassed me in front of my men. He's garbage. I could have gone in there and killed those kids. I don't know what you would defend yourself with, but he didn't say that. But that's like, I guess what he's saying he could have done is like send a SWAT team in, and then all the kids would be dead. Like, why are you even, what mentality do you have?
Yeah, the job got done. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Right?
Ugh. But anyway, Commissioner Loeb is like, I agree. I hate him just as much as you do. But he's got the press on his side.
Yeah, sure.
So when that's over, then we can make our move.
All right. They're trying to ruin him then, right?
Or kill him or something.
Sure. I mean, they got to ruin him in the media before they can kill him in real life or whatever.
Yeah, or like at least wait for the 24-hour news cycle to be over. Because the press are in love with Gordon right now. Headlines galore.
Yeah. He's a hero.
We'll go back to Gordon for a second. He's getting a phone call on his telephono. Not cell phone, because it's the 80s.
Is it a turn dial thing?
Why not? I don't know if it is. I can't remember, but probably.
Come on.
So rotary?
Rotary is the word.
Yeah.
I'm part of the Rotary Club here.
You want me to check? Should we take a break?
No.
Okay.
I'm into the story. But comment below if you know what a Rotary Club actually is, because I don't think anyone really knows what that is.
Yes. Comment below. So anyway, he gets a phone call, answers the phone, and he goes, what? Like the video?
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, I got you with that one.
Sure, man. Sure.
You weren't expecting that one. You weren't expecting it, and you know it.
You're right. I wasn't expecting it.
Also, what do you mean a giant bat? Right?
Oh, so we're back in the comic.
Yeah. Gets a phone call, like the video. Also, there's a giant bat in the city.
Okay.
We cut now to a bunch of teenagers who are stealing various large things from various 80s large things from a home. Whatever you can think of that is larger and 80s, they're carrying it, and they're on a fire escape, and it's from an apartment.
Sure.
Right?
So if it's an 80s cell phone, it's the size of a brick.
Yeah, they're like, hey, hand me that 80s TV. They even say it. That's one of the things. Hand me that 80s TV. Hand me that 80s microwave.
So it's like a big block instead of a flat screen TV today.
Exactly.
You ever carried one of those? They
they're
suck.
Like,
They're
look
heavy.
at those 80s jeans. Make sure you grab those.
Oh my God.
Batman lands on the fire escape from the roof, right?
You mean roof?
Yes, lands on the fire escape from the top of the building. And he's like, cool. He's got the fear, like, right off the bat. Fear, blah, blah, blah. Kind of doesn't gauge it right. Too much fear for the situation.
They're kids.
They're 20s, maybe
sure,
late
sure.
teens, maybe
Sure.
early 20s. One of them gets so spooked, he falls off the fire escape.
Oh, no.
Batman grabs him quickly, and the other guys stealing clearly are just garbage people, because instead of being like, oh, he's got our friend, we should, get the friend back up, they're like, let's beat the crap out of this guy or kill him.
Jesus.
And if we can do that, the friend will, so Batman's got to fight these kids, these teenagers or 20-some-year-olds, while holding the one guy. He manages to. He knocks them both out, right? And the other guy kind of passes out between the adrenaline, the fear, and the blood to the head. And he pulls him back up, and he's like, leans up against the wall, and he's like, ugh, you got lucky. You're an amateur.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he's just berating himself. Like, dude, you suck. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That inner dialogue, just beating himself up.
Yeah, exactly. So now we go to a little bit later, and it is a police meeting, where there's like, what do they call that when like there's a...
Yeah, it's called police meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they're at a police meeting, and there are these posters, like sketches on the wall. One of them is just like a giant bat creature, like bat demon creature.
Yeah, I watched the 90s Batman TV show, Man Bat.
One of them looks like Man Bat.
Yeah.
One of them looks like between a man and a bat, which is more like what Man Bat would look like. And one of them looks closer to what Batman would look like.
Oh, sure.
Right? And they're like, all right, so we got to talk about this vigilante. Who is he? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a new character now. So now there are 7 characters in this comic book. Essen, Detective Essen. She's a hot, blonde detective, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so it's like, okay, cool. Detective Essen is here. And they're talking about who is he? What is this vigilante doing? What's he got going on? And then Flass, who you now see has a full arm cast and neck brace on, is like, not he, it.
What?
And then everyone kind of starts being like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
You're crazy. You're crazy guy, blah, blah, blah. And he goes... And he's like, no, it's not a he, it's an it. And they're like, well, why don't you share it with the group? Okay. And then
they give him the talking stick. It's your turn.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you get to do your thing now. And he's like, okay. So, you want me to do the whole story in Flass with this voice?
No.
All right. So Flass is like, I was single-handedly apprehending these felons, right?
Sure,
Which is basically cuts to him, and he's like, helping them load cocaine onto a truck and like getting paid to,
what a
be
jerk.
protection or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, and all of a sudden a creature jumps off the roof. It had wings 30 feet across, made of shadow, and it just shows Batman just jumping down. Right.
Yeah.
And then he's like, one of the felons I had apparently slipped a gun somewhere that I had apparently not gotten, and it just shows like a normal guy just like pulling out his gun shooting. He goes, the bullets pass right through him, and it shows that it goes through the cape.
Sure, it's cloth, right?
Yeah. And he goes, he started shooting, things out of its body, and it's just him throwing batarangs.
Sure.
He had claws, and it's just him beating the crap out of Flass. He leaves Flass for last, right? Because he wants to like, make him afraid.
Yeah, sure.
You should be very scared. I'm very scary. And so he's got him and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, cool. So he tells that story and they're like, great. That's a great lead. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
So that's what Batman's been doing.
So let me just ask a question on this. So he's getting that fear, like imagery. Now, what month is this? Because I know we started in January. Is it like, a couple months in?
I think we're in April now.
Okay. So
or May.
4 or 5 months in?
Yeah, it's
or
April
5, 6
and May.
months in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's getting it. He's starting to get a hang of it. Yeah.
He's creating his brand.
Sure.
Yeah, he's building his brand.
Sure.
All right, so now we're going to cut to the next part, but I actually had an idea for this part. I wrote a whole script, and what I'm going to do is we're going to do this part as if it's the old like radio shows or audiobooks. I'm going to do effects and lighting and everything like that.
I'm intrigued. Let's do it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. This is this whole segment. I just got to grab. I don't need it plugged in. It's fine. All right. Here we go. Let me pull it up. You want to dim the lights for me? Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Night has fallen on the outskirts of Gotham City. The wealthy and bloated elite are enjoying their dinner, discussing future plans to exploit the city for profit and power. A Batman's weapons and metal have been tested. It's finally time to strike fear into the belly of the beast, the criminal oligarchy of Gotham City. Challenger by challenger, he makes his way to the mayor's mansion. Only 3 of the guards are awake. Only half of them are armed. The Batman subdues the final guard, noting a machine gun pistol in his pocket. A glimpse inside the manor shows the extravagant banquet being enjoyed by the likes of the mayor, Commissioner Loeb, and Gotham's crime bosses. One of the house servants brings Commissioner Loeb the phone.
Lieutenant Gordon, what a pleasant surprise. The Batman? I'm eating, Lieutenant. Yes, there are. And the Batman is having a positive effect on public spirit. Have you noticed the drop in street crime these last few weeks? I hope we understand each other, Gordon.
The guests of the dinner party speculate on the nature of the Batman. Driving fear into the criminals of the city is having a negative impact on their wallets. The commissioner sees the other side of this. The Batman is only targeting low-level street operators, taking out their competition. Outside, the Batman finalizes his sabotage on the manor's power.
Lieutenant Gordon, I've been hearing his name more often. All the right people seem to hate him.
With his work on the building's power supply done, the Batman pulls the pin out of the grenade he's holding.
Now.
The grenade crashes through the window, landing on the floor of the dining room. Panic sets in on the guests of the party. As the grenade starts filling the room with smoke, the power to the house is cut, leaving it in darkness, save for the light emanating from a single small fire on the table. The wall of the manor suddenly explodes inward, allowing the Batman to enter the dining room.
Ladies, gentlemen, you have eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit. Your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe.
The Batman takes a pot lid and smothers the fire. The guests are plunged into total darkness. So we cut to Gordon and Loeb, Police Commissioner Loeb. Itchy ear. And he's...
I gotta say, the Loeb thing always throws me off because one of my favorite Marvel writers is a guy named Jeff Loeb. And I say favorite, he wrote a lot of good stuff, and then he wrote a lot of bad stuff.
Well, maybe it's based off of him.
I wonder. That'd be really interesting.
So anyway, we cut to Gordon and Loeb, and he's like... You know, he was just like, oh, yeah, he's great for crime. He's making us money, blah, blah, blah. And then he's just like, no excuses, Gordon. The Batman goes down or it's your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, cool.
All right. So he's got Gordon at least against Batman now, right?
Yeah, because he's going to lose his job. So now we get to the part where Batman gets blown up by the cops.
Cool.
They drop
comic ends there then, yeah?
They drop a bomb on him.
Okay, the comic ends.
And that's it. Roll credits.
Yep. Blown up. A little bit of pieces.
Anyway, that was a fun one, right? I think I had a good time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Abrupt and random ending, though.
It is. I mean, but that's Frank Miller's style. Yeah.
Francois Millar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we arrive back because weird directorial choices. So, when he's not dead, he'll survive, maybe, or he won't. Who knows? It's a month later.
Okay.
Essen, the hot blonde chick, detective,
yeah.
and Gordon come up with this plan to have her kind of be mugged.
Sure.
And then that
The damsel in distress scene.
Exactly. And they all, set up a sting, as they call it.
Sting, like the fields of gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Roxanne.
Yeah. Doesn't have to turn off the red light.
We're done with the red light district part.
Yep. So anyway, Batman's watching Essen get mugged, quote unquote. And he's like, this is cute.
Oh, he's got it. He
I see
knows.
the 6 cops you've got there, Gordon. You've got a lot of manpower dedicated to this. That's crazy because I'm going to go do something else, which is going to mess with your minds. So he goes to Carmine Falcone's home.
Ooh.
Carmine Falcone, for those of you who don't know, where have you been? He's in like every movie. He is the mob guy.
Really? I saw the Batman. So
He's
he
in
was
the
in
Batman. He's in the Christian Bale Batman. I don't think he's mentioned in Ben Affleck's
that. You say
Batman.
that, I kind of remember a face from the Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From this height, the fall wouldn't kill me. That guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's the fat guy in that one. Whatever. Point is, or that's Salvador Maroni. It doesn't matter. He's the mob boss.
My brain
He goes
hurts.
there. He hog ties him in the bed, naked. Right.
Man,
A lot of nudity.
a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
Lots of parallels between Commissioner Gordon and Batman. I mean,
yes.
it's great. This isn't even Batman year one. This is like both of them year one.
Give me a $10 word for parallel.
Yeah, you said the word earlier is dichotomy, but what? Like, let me say the different one. The Zoroastrianism.
I'll give you $15 for that one. I don't even know what that word means. I've never heard of it.
Zoroastrian. Zoroastrian is a belief system, I believe, that started in Persia and their what's the word, like theology. It's called Zoroastrianism. It's a battle between light and dark. Did you just mock falling asleep on me?
No, I fell asleep on you. So
I'm gonna do that in the middle of your comic thing.
great. So he not only hog ties Carmine Falcone, but he steals his Rolls Royce and he drives it off a pier. Right?
Wow,
Batman's
that's
just
a
like,
statement.
I'm young, I'm gonna live forever.
That's a statement for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He might have parked it at a pier. My interpretation was that he drove it off.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
the panels would show you what happened.
No, because they just talk about it.
Oh, yeah okay. Okay, so the panels would talk about what happened.
He's just like, flying down Route 66. He's got Jameson in his. Yeah.
It's Jameson in his glass,
Yeah, there you go.
smoking a stogie,
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Anyway, so they're like, he's really ramping up and Carmine runs the city. So it's just like,
Yeah.
what do we do?
Jeez,
right?
man, what a statement so early on.
Comment below if you think it's Falcone or Falcone. Also, you're wrong. I have an Italian here. What is it, James?
Falcone?
There you go. Comment below. I got you with that one? Is that the one I got you with?
Maybe.
Okay, fine. So I'm trying to get James to be surprised when I ask for likes, comments, and subscribes.
But you know what? I'll tell you something though. You said Scarface before. You made that Scarface joke.
Yeah.
You know it's actually Scarface.
Okay. Let's blow Batman up. Yeah?
Sure.
Cool. Jim Gordon is... Let's blow Batman up. Jim Gordon is questioning Harvey Dent, character number 8.
Wait a second. I'm a little confused. So the fake mugging, they just let it happen and Batman goes away.
Yep.
All right. Wow.
Batman's just like this, whatever.
They must have felt like fools. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're just like, we got to start crossing people off.
Okay.
Goes to Harvey Dent's office. He's like, come on. Tell me what's going on. You got
Harvey
all
Dent?
these weights? Yeah, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, but not yet Two-Face. He's only got one face.
Okay.
So he's talking to One Face, and he's like, Harvey Dent's even got like weights, and Jim Gordon is like lifting him while he's talking to him. And he's like, you keep in shape, huh? You could be doing this. What's going on? You
So
could
he
be-
thinks he's Batman.
Oh, yeah. What's going on? Where were you on these nights, huh?
Where were you on the night of the 21st?
Exactly. And Harvey Dent's got an alibi for most of it. He's at home with his wife, doing his wife thing, right?
Sure.
Doing his being married thing.
Of course.
So his wife's like, aces, you're good,
Yeah.
right? And so he leaves One Face's office, right? At which point One Face is like, you can come out now. Batman was hiding behind the desk.
Woo!
Just like literally crouched.
That's pretty fun.
That's how close they came.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. He was like, I thought he'd never leave. So Batman and One Face are working together to take down the criminals.
I'm about this. This is fun.
We go back to Gordon, right? Mm-hmm. He's with Detective Essen. They're driving, and she goes, "What do you think? Could old One Face, as they call him, be Batman?" and Gordon's like, I don't know. You know, he's certainly in shape, but it takes more than muscle to be Batman. You need resources. You know,
yeah.
He's always going between 12 and 4 at night. What's going on? And she goes, resources. Didn't Bruce Wayne arrive around the same time Batman did? And she like hands him the cigarette she's smoking, and he's like, "Oh, I could kiss you. That's brilliant." And the messed up part is when he goes to like smoke the cigarette, he's like, I can already kind of taste her lipstick on the cigarette. Like he's starting to maybe feel something for this Essen broad.
Oh,
and he's a married man.
Dangerous.
Like and subscribe for the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah, marriage.
So
we say the sanctity of marriage, but we're secretly in love.
Yes,
our wives don't know.
Yes.
They don't watch this anyway, so they'll never know.
My wife watched one of these. That's the support I'm getting.
One? She doesn't love you like I do.
Nope.
I've watched every single one.
I know. So, anyway.
He tastes the lipstick.
Someone's asleep at the wheel of a truck and almost hits him.
Oof.
Yep. So Gordon's like, crap. This is not good. Batman's like, crap, this is not good. Jumps onto the roof of the truck. Gordon's like, what do we do here?
Batman just appears.
Batman's always wearing needs. He was with Dent. So it's easy to follow Gordon from there.
That's right. That was right before this.
Yeah, he was hanging out saying, hey, old One Face, how you doing?
Yeah.
Isn't it great how you have one face and so do I, and you're never going to have two? Anyway, so...
Oh my God. Hey, by the way, is it alluded to like the Batman has like grappling hook stuff yet?
He doesn't have really any of that shit.
How is he following people just rooftop to rooftop?
Yeah. And bicycles.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You think I'm joking. Anyway, there will be bicycles later and he will use them.
This comic is off the rails.
Frank Miller. So James is peeing. Like the video while we're waiting for him. I'll be here. Yep. So Gordon is like trying to angle, and there's this old woman that is crossing the street that is gonna get run over by this sleeping trucker.
Now that's a typical shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Batman jumps and saves her, gets heavily injured in the process. Simultaneously, Gordon jumps out of the car. Essen takes the wheel, out of the car, onto the truck, stops the truck.
Wow.
Yes.
Again, I'm more interested in Commissioner Gordon. Sorry, Jim Gordon than I am of Batman.
Yeah.
He's so cool, man.
Yeah. You're about to hate him.
Oh, Jesus.
Essen's got a gun on Batman, right? She gets out of the car. She's got a gun on him. Freeze. He's just sitting there. This is not bulletproof Batman. This is cloth Batman.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't have Lucius Fox yet.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman and him have not teamed up yet.
Yeah.
So
is that real in the comics, Lucius Fox?
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's just like, okay, you know, he is and he isn't. I don't know. It really depends. Everything's weirdly canon and not canon. So he got the gun on him. She calls for backup, right? And everybody's like, yeah, the Batman, he's messing with Falcone. That's our boss. We got to go. All the cops. Whatever. All the driving sounds are fast. And she's like, I called for backup, blah, blah, blah. And Gordon's like, he saved the old lady. He's not actually that bad. Maybe my life is a lie. Are we all living inside the mind of a giant? He's just having an existential crisis about this, right?
Okay.
Anyway, point is that Batman manages to scurry away right as the cops arrive. They start shooting at him. Bam, 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 bam. Shot again.
Jeez.
I guess DNA testing's not a thing here because just DNA tests the blood. But shot again. Gets into a building, right?
Yeah.
Loeb is on the scene in a helicopter. Gordon's like, wait, what are we doing? Maybe this isn't so good.
They dropped a bomb out of a helicopter.
Under the building. Now, if that wasn't enough. Round 2.
Round 2. Fight.
They got the building surrounded. Building's on fire.
Okay, it didn't come down.
It's coming down.
Yeah, but it didn't. It was like instant. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they do drop a bomb onto
2,
the building.
apparently.
2. Comment below if you'd like a third bomb. So, drop bombs onto the building. They land directly on the like button, and it swells and gets blue.
Wow, that's how that works.
Okay, I'm not going to get you anymore. I'll stop. So, they drop it on the building. Boom. Building explodes. And
Does it explode like the effect that happens when you hit the like button?
you know, it's not as fun when you do it.
You're just mad I did it.
Yeah. So anyway, building explodes and they kill at least one homeless wino.
Okay, so this building's abandoned. The idea, right?
Yeah.
This is not like an
Ish.
office
It's
building.
No. But
Okay.
there was at least one homeless, maybe several
Sure.
people, and Batman's like, I can't save them.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. They're like, send the SWAT team in.
Oh, the SWAT team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Same one. Selina, Kyle, and Holly, the prostitute, see it, and they're like, let's go check this out, right?
Yep.
Batman's utility belt gets set on fire. He's weaponless.
Oof.
SWAT team comes in. Batman hits a little button on his shoe, right? How is it not always hitting if you're stepping on it? Like, you feel like, I get it, it's indented, but as one pebble and that button gets pressed.
Yeah, it's baloney.
Yeah. Hits the button on his shoe.
Maybe it's an exact pressure.
There's just no way you're not going to apply that pressure.
Like only a light pressure makes it work.
Is he walking around like a ballerina, like only on his toes, maybe?
Who knows, man?
Hits the button on his heel. And then he's like, all right, this is, I got to navigate, blah, blah, blah. Luckily, the SWAT team separates. They're like, and it's literally like at the slightest thing. They're like, oh, maybe he's down there in that basement. So they're like, cool. Just unload all their ammo down there before even going. Like, they're out for blood, this SWAT team.
Jeez, man.
They're not like, hey, let's capture him, bring him in alive. And Loeb's all for it. Loeb's like, yeah, we got to kill this guy.
That's insanity.
Yeah, he threatened me at my dinner party. Okay?
That's true.
We were serving hors d'oeuvres. So, anyway, this is bologna sandwich. So, he goes, and I feel like we need to have that be a thing every video.
It's a great way to bypass cursing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, he goes in and takes out some of the guards as they like separate from the group, right?
The guards? No, a policeman.
The SWAT team.
Sorry, I'm just making sure
I equate them to guards because they're like Falcone's henchmen.
Yeah, sure.
And or Loeb's henchmen.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is not good, right? And then the other guards kind of find him. Selina Kyle does arrive on the scene, right?
She's just getting tangled in all this stuff, huh?
They find him because he's hiding, and a cat gives away his position. Wow.
What's with all the cats on this thing, man?
There's a cat bat theme. Cat bat hat.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Where they at?
Wasn't it the
How
cat
about
with
that?
the
Touch me outside. How about that?
I'm about to get ready to. Wasn't it a cat with the crazy guy too?
What?
You tried too hard on that one.
Okay. So, yes,
Wasn't
there's
it a cat with the crazy guy?
guy? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, they are shooting at him. He manages to take a few of them out, blah, blah, blah. He does save the cat and throw it out, at which point Selina Kyle's like, all right.
That's what gets her. He's my dog.
Respect.
He saved a cat.
Yo,
Oh, my God.
mad respect. This Batman guy.
God.
Anyway, throws a few of them out. But the guys, this is how messed up this is. The SWAT team, the building's collapsing. There are holes leading outside. They're shooting at Batman and hitting people, the crowd of people that has gathered to watch because they are shooting outside.
Jesus Christ. That's nuts, man.
So it's just like, dude. So Batman's like, I gotta not only not die here, I have to prevent you guys from because they're shooting cops. They're shooting. And Gordon's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they've lost their collective mind.
Yes. Blacks out the sky. Bats arrive. Like in that scene from Batman Begins. Beep, 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 beep. Step on a pebble, bats accidentally disappear. Whole swarm of them. In the commotion, he gets on a police motorcycle. Gets away.
Okay.
Doesn't get blown up, but it's very like, he's basically like, I need to team up with Gordon at this point.
Okay.
I can't not be having Gordon on my side.
Okay. You told me Batman gets blown up. I feel like I was lied to.
He got blown up. He just lived through it. He walked it off.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're moving forward now. We're in October.
Oh. Getting close to this full year, huh?
Yes. All right. So here's how this goes down, right? Gordon and Essen are full on having an affair now.
I hate him.
Yep. Told you. It doesn't last. It's Frank Miller. Character's got to be flawed. And he's like, I think I love her. And she's like, if your wife wasn't pregnant, would you be with me?
I'm annoyed. I don't like this.
Full on. Boom. Kissy, loving, touching, squeezing each other.
And hugging?
No, I was quoting Journey.
The song.
Yeah. Loving, touching, squeezing. Anyway.
I think it ends on hugging, no?
No.
I could be wrong, yeah.
Yeah, it's loving, touching, squeezing.
All right.
Every day.
I'm about that life.
It's tearing me apart. So.
When I'm with you or?
No, I'm still on the same song.
Oh, okay.
So Gordon's having an affair, okay?
I don't like this.
With this Essen broad.
Yeah.
And it's like, not good, right? Gordon gets called into Loeb's office, right? Loeb is like, yo, man, I'm done with this. This whole Boy Scout thing, blah, blah, blah. That's enough, okay? You're too much of a goody two-shoes. You know, it's too hard to kill you. But slide some pictures over. Him and Essen.
He's like, I took some pictures of us. I took some pictures of us making love to blackmail you.
And he's like,
Won't blackmail me?
Would be terrible if Barbara found out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to now Gordon and Barbara have because I don't know why he's bringing Barbara along. I guess like he's worried she'll get bored. She's overdue, right?
I was about to say they shouldn't have had the kid now.
No, she's overdue, and he's like he doesn't want her to worry about it. That's why he brings her along. Little baby boy James Jr.
That's great.
Gonna grow up to be a serial killer.
For what it's worth. Okay.
Not this comic though. That's a different comic.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, I think it's interesting that they mention her being overdue because it's just like it's like a gentle real life thing that happens that you mention in a comic that makes it feel just a little more real.
Yeah.
Like just something simple like that can change a comic from being like, oh, superhero,
Exactly.
fake, makes it feel more grounded.
Exactly. So he goes and Bruce Wayne finally has something open in his schedule for questioning, right? He was skiing in the Alps. He had the flu, and this morning he's hungover, but I guess he can make time to see me and Barbara, right? He goes there. You know, he feels super unwelcome. The butler's just like, okay, what are you doing here, Alfred? Little Alfie Alf. And he's just like, okay, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. Bruce Wayne, he's like, Alfred, can you bring us some more champagne? This one's evaporated. Some for them too. And they're like, it's the morning and she's pregnant. And he's like, whatever, I'm sorry. We're just having a good time here, you know? This is my friend. I don't know her name actually. And she doesn't speak a language I know. So, you know.
Love this. Great act.
You know, so what do you need? And he's like, where were you on these nights? And he's like, oh, you think I'm the Batman? I get it. That's very cute. If you catch him, can you get his autograph? Alfred, be a dear. And he's like, ringing a bell. Be a dear and get me my calendar book. And, you know, Gordon sees it and he's like, dude, I could auction this book for a small fortune. They're all women. They're all famous. They're all models, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all attractive. And it's funny to me because I was thinking of this at the time and I was just like, objectively, you know, if it at the Justice League table when everyone's talking to Batman, he's like, I don't sleep with these women because I want to. I have to. It's not for me.
It makes him sound like a psychopath.
It makes him sound like Dennis from Always Sunny.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. I don't have to sleep with these women. I mean, I need to. It's a thing. That's for my cover identity. It's not because I love it. I don't like it, but I have to. You have it.
You know, I never thought of it like that. That's
Right?
genius. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. You can't just be like a mild-mannered reporter or something. Like, okay. Anyway, Gordon's like, hey, maybe he could be Batman. I don't really buy it. Definitely could be, but really, I don't care anymore. Like, I got to do something. Stops the car at the edge of the gate, and he's like, Barbara, I got to tell you something. Right? Pan over back to Batman, and he's like, thank you, Alfred, for bringing me the seltzer water. You know, do you think he bought it? Basically. Totally fine. So that's it. That's that one. We're going to move forward now, right?
Did you just stop on I gotta tell you something?
That's where they stop.
Ugh. That's a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. So one last thing, totally forgot. After all that goes down, Selina Kyle goes back to the red light district, finds the pimp, knocks him out, punches him. Super easy.
Got what he deserved, I'm sure.
She's yoked.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Grabs Holly, and Holly's like, what are you doing? She's like, we're getting out of this business. I got an idea.
Okay. Rock and roll. Let's get out.
Yeah.
I like this.
Boom.
Is that the same name of the girl in the movie? No, right? It was like Ileana or something like that.
Anya?
Anya?
Something?
Yeah, something.
Something Russian. Yeah, but that's definitely. I even told my wife while we were watching it together. I was like, "Oh, this is clearly like Holly." You know,
it's a parallel for something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the thing about the. There was so much like, oh, Catwoman's black and blah blah blah. Like all the like toxic fanboys who clearly haven't read a comic. Zoe Kravitz was the single best casting of Catwoman I have ever seen.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And in this, in year one, she's black. Sometimes she's black. Sometimes she's white. Depends on the illustrator or whatever.
Not to be that guy, but what does it really matter?
It doesn't. But what my point was that they literally took an amalgamation, both in attitude and appearance, of every Catwoman that has ever existed. And they were like, Zoe Kravitz would be perfect for this. And I was like, I saw it that she was cast as that. And I was like, that is so, it is like the ultimate pleasing fan service thing you could ever ask for. And I was just like, how can you be upset about this? Right? Like, and it doesn't.
There's a culture of people who just get mad at that.
But
whatever.
They clearly didn't. I'm saying they get mad because like, it's not in the comics. It's in the comics. Read the comics. Year one. It's even in year one.
Is she black in year one? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
Very clearly. Same kind of skin tone as Zoe Kravitz, but it
Sure.
really doesn't matter. Like Jeffrey Wright killed it as Gordon. Killed it. One of my favorite Gordons I've ever seen, except for like Bryan Cranston, who voices him over in this animated movie. Killed it. So again, it's just like, get the performance, you know? Anyway.
Yeah.
But I did want to make that comment because I was just like, Zoe Kravitz killed.
Yeah. And just to comment on that, like there are some things that it's obvious, like if you cast someone like if you cast a Black Panther as a white man, it would be stupid.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, I'm not a big DC guy, but if like you cast Superman as a black man,
There's two black Supermen.
I was gonna say I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, it doesn't. But there is two black Supermen. Like it's a thing.
There's like a thing where like I really don't think it matters unless someone's feature is like very like integral to the story. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, what? Like then it feels like you tried to.
Or if
Like
you're doing it from like a preachy point. I'm just like, cast the best guy for the role. Like Jeffrey Wright is clearly that was the best Gordon I've seen like ever.
for sure.
Yeah.
And like kind of way off of the comic thing, but like Triss from The Witcher not being like a real redhead was kind of annoying to me because I'm tied to that visual from the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end, I mean, they made her hair red and I was like, I don't care anymore. I got over it.
I thought for me it was more about just like in the second season her attitude was closer to what it was in the books.
Yes.
In the first season it wasn't. So it was just like, okay, I guess you guys. I didn't really give a crap about the hair, but I was like, just you know, let's just
It's
be
not the
more.
character. Yeah.
Be more, you know.
Pick the best person to play the role is what
Yeah,
you're saying. Like
yeah.
it really doesn't matter to me.
Who cares? Anyway, but I did want to make that comment for all the seething fans. Like it was literally as if someone had created in Photoshop every single Catwoman put together. Was
Perfect amalgamation.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about it. I don't know anything about Catwoman really, but I believe you.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on. What we've got.
So we just ended October.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end here.
Wow.
So Batman's going to straight up torture somebody now.
Okay.
All right.
That's an introduction.
Yeah. He's going to just go and do it. So here's how this goes down. Okay.
Yeah, how's that?
Batman, there's this guy who's somehow connected to Flass, who obviously is connected to Loeb, who's obviously connected to Falcone.
Sure.
And it's
a tangled web. We get it. Yeah.
So this guy is, he's out on parole, and his lawyer's like, stop drinking, blah, blah, blah. Stop doing cocaine. They're going to do drug tests. They're going to get you. He's not out on parole. He's out on bond, right? Bail.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And he's like, I'm never gonna talk. They're never gonna get me. I gotta celebrate. We just got out on bond. We're good. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. It's gonna be fine. And his lawyer's like, whatever. His lawyer's clearly one of the connected lawyers into the crime family.
Sure.
Right?
A little foreshadowing. Nothing will happen.
Yep. Batman is scaling the building.
Of course.
Yeah. As he's saying all of this. Right?
Oh, man.
So Batman's scaling this building. And you get probably one of the craziest, coolest scenes besides the one that we read out earlier with the book narrative. You get, he breaks in after this guy's left alone. Lawyer leaves, breaks in, guy shoots him. Batman either dodges the bullets or they hit his cape, which you get the idea that his cape's purpose is to also kind of like make him appear bigger so you miss.
Sure, kind of like I know you don't read much Marvel, but Punisher having the Kevlar vest and the skull being on his chest is to make people aim at the skull.
Right.
Similar idea.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing Kevlar or some sort
Later
of
on, the bat symbol. This is not year one, but the bat symbol is the most armored part of his chest later on.
That makes sense.
Because it's the one you would want to aim for.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Anyway, so he breaks in and he's like, bullets don't hurt me. And he's like grabbing the guy and like pinning him down, beating the crap out of him. And he has him like he's on top of him and he's like, bullets don't hurt me.
Love this.
Your fists do nothing. I can't feel, I can't be harmed, but I know pain. And he's like grabbing the guy's fingers and he's like, sometimes I like to share it. Like he's just intense.
Real dark here.
Yeah. Like real gritty. You get the idea that he tortures the crap out of this guy. And he's not like, give me information. He's just like, you're going to talk. And he gives the guy the most frightening experience of his life because he wants to be scarier than Falcone.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm in.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. So the guy's like, I'm talking. I'm telling everybody everything. I'm going to tell everything on Flash. I'm going to tell everything on whatever you guys want to know. Blah, blah, blah. And no one can. His lawyer's like, oh, you shouldn't talk. He's like, I don't care. Nope. Blah, blah, blah. So much so.
To draw a parallel to our last video.
Yeah.
This is Gore the God Butcher torturing a god of torture.
Yeah.
I made him give up the location of his wife and children.
I would love
Batman's
to see
that good.
Batman and Gore go head to head. That
Just
would be
torture
awesome.
session between
Just
the two
like,
of them.
who
Okay,
can-
your turn now.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Because Batman survived like, millennia being endlessly tortured by the Joker and was kind of just like a tiny bit mentally scarred from it.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is fear. So can he do that?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's so much so that an assassination attempt occurs on the guy who's going to testify.
Oh, wow.
He's getting his stomach pumped of the poison. And he's like, I don't care. I still want to talk.
Woo!
Yeah.
That is intense. I love that.
That's the fear.
I love my favorite thing
puts
about
in.
Batman, and I really don't read much. I know I'm like the guy who doesn't know much. I've seen a few things, of course. It's like I don't read DC at all. But like the whenever they allude to Batman being so good at torturing people that anyone will listen to him, it's like so great.
The
like
interrogation.
Man, that makes it so much fun. Like whatever he said must have meant something.
Yeah.
They did that once in the Justice League TV show from like the early 2000s, where like Batman walks off, says one thing to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll talk." I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, "That's great."
No, I have to rewatch.
Yeah. Another kids show I watched. But
Yeah. So now, side note, James is born. James Jr., future
Okay.
serial killer.
Really?
Full psychopath. Gordon's kids. Frank Miller didn't decide this, but some other writer comes along and they're like, I got to do something with something. Maybe he's a psychopath killer. I don't know.
Sure.
Or maybe two writers do that. There are two storylines where that happens.
Yeah, sure. There's lots. I mean, you take something from before, make a twist on it, drives the fans.
What other
mad.
character are we missing? This guy, great. This guy's going to be something.
Yeah, it feels like it's good for the fans too. They're like, oh yeah, that thing. Connections. Fans love connections.
Yeah. So now, Batman is on top of the Falcone house, right? And he's just waiting, and he's listening, right? He's like, what are these guys talking about? And they're talking about, the junior or the nephew or the son or something. Roman is his name. I don't remember the connection, but he's like, yo, I'll take care of it all. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. I got this. Gordon's not going to be a problem. It's done, this, that, the other. And Falcone, Carmine is like, no, you don't get it, all right? There's things we got to do. There's plans we got to make, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what the plan is. Batman's like, sweet, I'm going to hear it, right? Boom, Selina Kyle shows up. She gets caught robbing him, right? And
Damn you, Selina Kyle.
they're like, you must work for the Batman, right? Because she's dressed up as a cat. And she
rhyme.
Exactly. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, watch me kill your favorite cat. That's the line from the Joker. So, yeah, I think it's the Joker. So it might be somebody else. But
Riddler?
anyway.
It sounds like a Riddler thing.
Yeah. Twinkle, twinkle, little cat, watch me kill your favorite bat. I'm pretty sure it's the Joker. Or whatever it is. Vice versa that. So the point is she shows up, she starts fighting. Batman's like, great, now I don't get to hear what the plan was, right? And then he starts fighting with her, and they kind of take these guys out. But there's no like romantic connection or bond like there is in the movie or anything like that.
Sure.
It's just like strictly professional.
Yeah.
Okay. So that happens. Batman's back in his studies talking to Alfred. He's doing one-handed push-ups as he's doing this. And he's like, okay, he's not going to kill him. Because that was clear. Because he was like, you don't get it, son. Don't kill him. Right? I don't know why. Falcone sounds like a weasel in my head. So this is how he's going to talk. You don't get it, son. Don't kill him.
My ancestors are rolling in their graves.
Great. So he's like, all right, cool. So it's not that. It could be blackmail. What could it be? Or, oh my God. And he deduces it. He detectives, right? We cut to Jim, who gets an emergency call. And he's like, crap, gets to his car. He's like, emergency call. Why am I getting called this time? This sucks. Oh my God, driving. Like, as he's driving, motorcycle goes by, right? And he's like, what the heck? That earlier time passing cars. But this time he's like, no, crap. Turns around, goes back into his parking garage, and he sees there's a guy with a gun to his wife's head, dragging her into a car, and Roman has got his baby, little James Jr.
Oh, I don't like this. Like
Yeah.
they were trying to draw him away or what?
Yeah, that's why Loeb called him, right? And so he's like, crap. And he's just, what do I do? Screw it. Boom. Kills one of the guys holding his wife. A guy starts shooting at him, shoots him in the shoulder, right? Shoots. Wife manages to get away, but Roman's like, crap, this wasn't supposed to happen. Drive. Drives. All right. And then the motorcyclist starts like, oh, crap. Let's get out of here. Gordon's like, oh, screw you, motorcyclist. And either shoots him or like knocks him off the bike and then gets on it and starts going towards him. Wife picks up the gun, has it on the motorcyclist, and the motorcyclist like takes off his helmet, still shrouded in shadow though. And he's like, Barbara, I won't let your son die. You have to let me go. Gets on a bicycle. Yellow bicycle. Told you bicycles would come into play. And Bruce Wayne starts pedaling. He's the little bicycle that could.
Oh my God.
And he pedals with all of his heart. Let's go. Oh, it's December, by the way.
It was Batman in the motorcycle?
Yes. And now it's Batman on the Batsicle. Anyway, see, he's going. Right? And Gordon manages to catch up on the motorcycle, shoot the tires out, right? Car crashes, driver's unconscious. You know, he goes, he's got the gun. Roman opens the door, knocks not only the gun, but the glasses off of his face, right? So now he's got a disadvantage because he has really bad vision. Can't stress that enough. So Roman and him start fighting, with Roman having the baby in his hand, and he's got a wound in his shoulder on a bridge.
I don't like this.
Yep.
It's making me uncomfortable.
It's going to be more uncomfortable before it gets more comfortable. They're fighting. Long story short, Roman's just like, you know what? Screw you. Throws the kid off the bridge. Gordon jumps off, but somebody had jumped right before him, catches the kid, and lands. Water apparently is only about, thigh high or calf high.
Shin high. Yeah.
Shin high.
Yeah. That's a
Saves
place in
the
China,
kid.
right?
Yeah. What?
It's a place in China.
Shanghai? Yeah, Shanghai. So anyway, saves the kid. Batman.
Thank you, Batman. Of course it's Batman, right?
Yeah, because he's Batman.
Yeah.
Because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And Jim Gordon is like, how can I repay you? And he's like the video. I got you with that one? Did I get you with that one? The very end.
Got me.
Oh, yes.
You got me.
Yes. Okay, so none of that happens. Instead, he hands him his kid, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're saying Batman doesnn say like the video? I thought that really happened?
How can I repay you? He doesn't say that.
Oh.
Right? Instead, what happens, he hands him his kid, and he goes, I'm practically blind without my glasses. So the cops will be here any minute. It'd be good if you weren't here when they came.
Establish your first real connection here, huh?
Yeah. Now, is he practically blind without his glasses? Is he not? It is a topic for debate. I choose to believe Gordon doesn't know who Batman is. You can choose to believe whatever you'd like to believe.
Oh, that's right, because his glasses
Got knocked off.
No, because he's not wearing anything. He's not wearing the Batman.
He's got nothing, no helmet,
This is
no
Bruce
nothing.
Wayne.
Just Bruce Wayne and a bicycle.
Oh, that wasn't super clear, but now it's clear. Got it. I'm basically blind without my glasses. I like that.
I'm practically blind without my glasses.
I feel like there's some sort of parallel or allusion to bats in that thing too.
Myth.
Blind as a
Bats
bat.
can see fine.
I know, but it doesn't matter because it's a phrase that people use. It's
Yeah.
something that people understand.
Well, the point is, that's over. It's January again, 1 year to the
Okay.
day. Flass gets turned in. Flass turns out to be kind of smart, actually. He wasn't such a jock. He kept detailed notes on every meeting he ever had with everybody. Commissioner's going to resign. Flass is getting everybody's, dirty laundry out in the air. Gordon gets promoted to captain. Son's only a few months old, so he's not a serial killer yet. They get a signal so that they can call Batman when they need him. Mm-hmm. And he says, he's like, there is one thing I'm thinking of calling him for. Someone's trying to poison the reservoir. Calls himself the Joker. That's the end of the comic.
That reminds me of the end of the first Batman movie.
Yeah.
Not the first. I'm sorry, the Christian
first
Bale.
Batman movie is a very good parallel to Batman Year One. And this last movie was a good parallel to
Sure,
Batman Year
I
One.
did see both of them, and it did catch me on a few things.
Because this last one is Year Two, basically. That's what it is. It's his second year or third year as Batman. Or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it. Any questions?
Questions I had.
Catwoman, Falcone, Flass, Loeb, Gordon, Batman, Alfred.
Alfred, as my dad says.
Okay.
It's maddening.
I named every character in this book. One Face. You want to talk about One Face?
No.
Okay. We're going to do one comic now that we're wrapped up with that. Super quick, 1 minute long at the most. It's called The Three Jokers.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's not. It's shit. Don't read it.